a huge problem. In the end, Oheb was a huge problem.
Yep.
Edward was a huge problem. And Blacklist knew those things were going to be problems. It just wasn't going to be a problem in the first 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And they were able to buy time. So I think Geek Fam needs to also consistently think about what are they going to have as answers in the late game to deal with Blacklist.
Yeah, you mentioned something there, first 5 minutes. If ever there's going to be a Bruno or Baksha first pick for Geek Fam, Blacklist will take the other. So, like, for example, first pick Bruno, then one of the first picks on the side of Blacklist is the Baksha, but no, it's none of that. They go Faramis. They're going into their favorite picks here. A boy made a name for himself in MPL Indonesia Season 12 with that Faramis pickup as one of the staple and signature Geek Fam picks that led them to the grand finals of MPL IDS 12.
I think it's a good choice, especially considering the fact that they banned out the Valentino, right? You go ahead and pick up the Faramis. You don't have to worry about going against another Netherrealm for now, right? And interestingly enough, too, usually the answer, once again, one of the answers for the Netherrealm is the Lilia, but it was Blacklist International that banned it out. So interesting how that interaction goes. Now, once again, Blacklist, how do they want to deal with that? Do they lock up their jungler already? They're going to take the Bruno, and once again, they go with the Akai here.
I was honestly expecting them to possibly pick up the Claude there as an answer to the Faramis, but Blacklist have faith in Oheb. They decide to go for the Bruno. We know the damage is there, but in my mind, Blacklist still kind of lacking an answer to the Netherrealm.
Yeah, so that's where we might actually see the XP lane pickup being something like high damage in terms of the Lapu Lapu or displacement in terms of the Arlot, but then paired up with the Akai, that's where you get your answer for the Netherrealm of Geek Fam. So Geek Fam take the next two best picks up on the board. They get the Baksha. So now you have the Baksha Faramis combo that, of course, want to set the tempo, go around quickly, and then you have Marky on the Claude here, which we've seen him perform very well so far with in this series.
Okay, again, the XP lane has been a constant question throughout the series. We know the impact that it can have. We saw the Khalid the previous game, how much it can turn the tide of some of these fights. Is that something once again? Wow.
Oh, nice.
All right, I wasn't expecting this. Hey, but I'm happy. We're still in the knockouts too, and Gord's still coming to play.
And it's still a 50-50 win rate. So I mean, it's not like it's a horrible pick. I mean, it's not the best pick, but it's not the worst either.
So now Blacklist, alongside taking those out, now have to watch out for some very terrifying picks on the side of Geek Fam. They can go Yutong, something that can chase out the Gord and the Bruno, make sure they can make the most out of that Petrify. They can then... anyone with Dive, really, who could just easily get to that Gord.
The only thing that bothers me about the Gord here is the fact that, like, pressure-wise, in terms of, you know, when you try to set up with a Mystic Gush, you're working around a very mobile lineup, right? Claude, you have to work around the fact that Faramis is probably going to pull you around. You can have, of course, Nile rolling in from different directions. So, you know, timing, positioning, even more important here with the Gord locked in. But yes, it does also solve a pretty good problem and provides quite a bit of damage, you know, early to mid-game, especially these objectives they're going to be focusing on. But you can already see it too. A lot of these roamers being taken out. Again, what is BLCK going to bring to the table? The Ruby pick is gone here.
So usually Gord is an answer to heroes such as Valentina that, of course, you'll have to expand dashes and things like that, mobility to get away from the range of his Mystic Gush. So it feels like Blacklist International are just turning off the idea of BLCK picking up something like that, you know, or something to counter it. It's like they're thinking ahead already of whatever BLCK will pick, and that's their tackle. So with a Minotaur taken out, Kali taken out here, could be Lapu or Lapu or the Paquito for Edward looks and sounds good.
Because Geek having a Lapu in Luke's hands right now looks great against a Gord, right? He's just and he's much easier to reach than many other long rangers. But instead they go for the Terizla, also solid. I think we definitely see the Lapu from Luke.
Yeah, you know what hurts? Getting a penalty zone and then a Mystic Gush into it, right? So that can line things up really well, especially when you're just playing around the Netherrealm itself. If you don't want to wait for it, then just force it out, you know, for the most part. And a lot of times that penalty zone initiation, let's say you get 3-4 members, 2 or even 3, you're going to force, you know, possibly that Netherrealm, and then the Mystic Gush is there. Not to mention Worldy. Now, Worldy doesn't do that much damage, but it's still definitely a threat. And once again, the only thing that could backfire so far from Blacklist International is usually the heavy spin, right? You really have to kind of play around that. Make sure that you're not messing up with the positioning either.
Sensui does pretty well at that, though, I do have to say.
Yep.
There's a Lapu, as we talked about. And there is the Arlot. They get the displacement.
Wait, Rome Arlot, huh?
Yeah, It looks like it. A Rome Arlot for Baloyski. Does this mean we'll see another Rafaela for Blacklist? But the problem is it's going to be difficult. They need something a little bit tankier, and Blacklist, GEEK Fam took out the best pick possible in the Minotaur.
This is where the KDA thing happened, too. It was with the Rome Arlot. Well, it was one of the instances. Right?
Don't you put that in the air, Ricky Bobby.
It's there. It's in the air. It's got to be. We got to get to a game 5, Trex.
My friend.
Right? Last pick here.
Oh! Right. Of course.
You can hear that the crowd likes it.
Wild.
Yep. They love this hero.
Can he do it again? Can Renegade win the hearts and minds of people and say that I can play a hell of an Estes as well? He did it already earlier this Sem 5. Can he do it again in this crucial game?
The heel man.
The heel man is back. Gonna be quite difficult though. This needs perfect Ube playstyle by Blacklist. There's so many pieces on the side of GEEK Fam that will give them a lot of trouble.
A lot of answers.
A lot of answers, a lot of questions here. Rizal Memorial Coliseum, we're getting ready. We're at match point for Blacklist International against GEEK Fam. If they're able to win here, they move on. They send GEEK Fam out.
5 seconds till the enemy reaches the
and they are ready as we get prepped up in the land of Dawn. Once again, can GEEK Fam answer to extend the series to Game 5, or will Blacklist International end it here?
Ube Classic by Blacklist International. This might take some time until we see some big plays, but we already see Renegade and Baloyski. As Renegade is just helping out Sensui in the jungle, taking a fair bit of damage as expected from a Rome Arlot. So we're just gonna be waiting for the next turtle. Honestly, it's like the next turtle or the next few seconds before the next turtle, because that means someone's gonna be going into the EXP lane, pressuring out an XP laner, a little skirmish, and then that determines who gets the turtle, or that doesn't happen, it's just a full-on fight on the turtle. Full sustain for the Arlot, by the way.
You know, seeing Renegade on this, it just goes to show his evolution as a roamer overall and how much he has grown with this team, with the rest of these players. Definitely the story to be told, but when we look at the map, GEEK Fam, this is kind of where they like to be in this laning phase. Blacklist forced to take a much more passive approach due to the SDs and due to the gore.
Yeah, I like the fact, too, that he plays with Quantum Charge, because it also allows a little bit of aggression, for the most part, on how you're trying to position this SS pick once again and really follow through on a lot of things. Even if it's just to catch, the members from GEEK Fam and slow them down a little bit, could work in their favor. Now, once again, you're working with a lot of just AoE pressure here. For them, for against GEEK Fam, and they have to kind of work around that. Now, the tools are there. We've seen them do it before, and even having, already exchanges. Baloyski, that's the thing.
Ooh, the stun connects. Forced to use a flicker. Will be able to get away, but that will put Blacklist at an advantage for this first turtle.
Yep, you and Edward helping each other clear lane. They want level 4s across the board. Aboy already level 4, Renegade. When he clears that mini wave, let's see if it hit 4. Who'll get this first turtle? Game number 4.
Oh boy, gonna try to keep Edward away. Nile keeping close to the turtle. Baloyski looking for a little bit of an engage into the backside loop there as well. Baloyski gonna make his mark, gonna try to come in, but Nile takes it. And now sends away Luke with the bravest fighter looking for Edward, but he's taking a face full of magic gush right now. But he finds it! Renegade goes down, and so does Sensui! GEEK Fam coming out on top.
Right out of the gate, again, it's Luke. He is him right now. And GEEK Fam able to sniff out an opportunity. Again, the layering of abilities. When you're up against a heal comp that wants to stick together, you have a lot of displacement and crowd control. If you can time those together, you give a lot of difficulty for a lineup that Blacklist International drafted. And again, it's the same story so far in the first 3 minutes of this game compared to the previous game, wherein GEEK Fam acknowledged the strength of their lineup against Blacklist lineup.
All right, not only because I'm a Gord stan here, but I'm really curious on the build path this time around for UA, right? Usually when we see Gord pop up throughout M5, we actually see some variation, some flexibility in that build that they approach the game, right? The fact that a lot of this, you're going to try to land those projectiles, get those little stuns out, of course, kind of work around that. And they're still going to be putting the pressure here once again, top side. All of this really allowing OHEB to farm up the best he can against Marky, who, as we've said throughout the series, has been quite the lane to be in, right? The duking it out against each other.
Okay.
Right.
Ooh, good start.
Ooh, nice pull back on a Sensui there. Luke brings out the bravest fighter, able to get right through that heavy spin. Blacklist are able to disengage though, but it's 20 seconds till the turtle, and Geek Fam are going to take control of the pit. A little more back and forth in the mid side. Geek Fam showing who's boss.
Getting another example of just BLCK holding on to that final slash so well. They almost caught out Sensui, forced out the heavy spin. So this turtle looks like a free one for Geek Fam. It's going to be difficult for Blacklist International to get there in time.
Okay, already just going to go ahead and use that Mystic Gush, put the pressure where he can, but they might just be given the call, right? Just go ahead and give up these turtles for now. We are not where we need to be to team fight yet, but they're actually going to make a line towards this bottom lane. Might be looking for their own play here.
Oh, Marky with the Blazing Duet, just trying to clear out these waves and get back to safety. Able to pull it off. Geek Fam's rotation matching Blacklist.
Yeah, and now, good defense there by Geek Fam. Next rotation and sequence might be around the mid lane. Let's see if Blacklist will actually continue the... Oh, Edward!
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Approval.
That was nasty, bro. That was oh, this is nasty.
BLCK forced to use a flicker right before the fight comes with a final slash on a Sensui. He is going to get pinned against the wall. Able to dash back. OHEB takes the tower, and Blacklist walk away safely.
That's all part of the plan, right? They got the turret. They made it work. Not to mention, once again, UA. He might not be getting kills right now on this Gord, but he's definitely putting pressure where he has to. Sometimes it's a flicker. Sometimes it's an ultimate. He's doing what he has to do.
Again, it goes back to the idea that we posed in MPL Philippines Season 12 before, wherein we said that the Gord is sort of like a new age version of Eve. It's static, it's an ultimate that zones out, it's not a big box. But then with how US playing it, it's also playing it a little bit like a Farsa, committing the ultimate just to make sure you have an advantage in the tower dives, clearing the minion waves, zoning out. So, yes, as a Gord in these scenarios, you don't just hold into your ult, you make the most out of it every time with your team.
Oh, final slash. Speaking of team, Geek trying to close in on Blacklist. They're unable to get the finish. Renegade comes in the nick of time.
Okay, the heal's there, but they know it's not available anymore. Geek Fam might want to still put the pressure here under the turret, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and call it off. No point even for UA to get there already. Renegade doing quite a bit of healing. Marky gets checked here as well from Edward. They'll have to go back to lane. Turtle going to be up shortly. That's not going to connect though.
Hunting right now. Renegade taking a little bit too much damage to the flicker from Luke.
Oh!
Takes two lives from Blacklist International.
There's UA. Nothing he can do though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, again, they stayed up there for quite a while.
Yeah, great tower diving, great call by Geek Fam, not giving up on the play. Despite BLCK missing that final slash, Luke said, hey, I'm him, I got this. And he set that up for Geek Fam really well. Again, another patented tower dive, a thing that we see here in the Philippines, teams such as RSG Philippines, but it is an Indonesian playstyle working very well for them right now as they get the third and final turtle of this game.
Yeah, another great call there from Niall, able to put the pressure on Sensui around the buff, gets the retry out and easily rotates to get the third turtle. Clean sweeping it right now for the turtles for a Geek Fam. That's what's given them a little bit of this edge to work around, right? And with that, Blacklist has to keep that in check because when it gets to these Lords in about under 2 minutes from here, they don't want to just give those up, right? The plan so far is, all right, we give those up, we farm up the best we can. A top lane again.
Oh, big final slash. Sensui going to get the double man pin on the two members. Luke taking a couple shots to the face, going to have to back off the worldie, bouncing between a boy and BLCK. Blacklist safe for today.
Surprisingly enough, that it felt like that final slash actually put OHEB in a better position to be able to go away. He was able to just slide tackle on out of there easily, a bit closer to the turret. I understood what BLCK and Geek Fam were going for there, but it felt like in that scenario, that final slash just helped OHEB a little bit better.
Okay, so Renegade just picked up the Flask of the Oasis. So this will, in terms of, because we already saw the Necklace of Durance picked up, right? So how does this help out the healing situation here, Renmar, for Blacklist?
Well, of course, that allows Blacklist International to just really pop the ultimate of the Estes, and then, oh, wait.
Oh, they're closing in. Oheb taking off the map. A nice Netherrealm does come from GEEK. They're going to get stunned up. A boy able to get away, though. Blacklist International move a member, and this is what GEEK fam's doing. Just find one, then one more. Blazing Duet does come in. Yue taking a little bit of damage.
There's Luke.
Niall looking for more. Luke into the backside with the bravest fighter.
Oh!
To the penalty zone. Response from Edward. A nice final slash from Loyski. Luke able to get a stun. Rennie J goes down. Blacklist International lose 2 members.
Well, I was going to say, the healing coming out from that Flask of the Oasis, although it might take some time until we feel the full healing effect of that Estes, should be able to help with the initial burst of damage and crowd control that GEEK fam dish out. But again, sequence after sequence, we're seeing GEEK fam layering their abilities so well, timing everything together, that even though Renegade gets a good timing with the use of the Blessing of the Moon Goddess, then suddenly GEEK fam just overload the Estes and the heal of Blacklist.
Yeah, well, they actually want to fight this once again. Now that Lord's up, they want to join these fights. Still waiting. Once again, Yue doesn't have too much damage just yet on this board. He's got the Talisman, he's got the Ice Queen wand. They're going to want to fight again.
Move on to Renegade there. Edward does drop the penalty zone. Yu brings out the Magic Gush. Netherrealm comes out from a boy.
Oh.
Luke taking a lot of damage. Oheb able to get the final shot. And now Edward pushing the engage. Sensui pushes Marky away. A boy goes down. Sensui down. Beloyski down. 2 members of GEEK fam drop. Marky and Niall now on the defensive. Blacklist International with a nostalgic feeling of the last game. Turn things around.
What a great positioning choice there from Sensui to keep Marky at bay.
It's like he told Marky, I can spin better than you. We're both going to be spinning like tops. But the heavy spin, you saw what GEEK fam wanted to do. Set up Marky for a big blazing duet. But it took one big panda and a heavy spin to stop that.
Oh, again, it doesn't matter if the 3 turtles are giving up. Blacklist International, with their team fighting prowess, they're able to pull through, get this Lord, and now they're going to be in charge here. But we're going to take a quick breather from this game as things get situated. Once again, talking about how that team fight unfolded. You saw exactly how it happened, right? Things fell into place. They fell into a certain part of the jungle. It was a choke point, but with the covering of that Mystic Gush, focusing on a boy, keeping a boy back, the Netherrealm was worked through. And even when Marky came in, if Sensui wasn't on that side to block him out, that would have been so much damage being spread across a already belittled lineup. They had half health, maybe the heals were already done, and it was a struggle there. So once again, Sensui in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, so far we're going to be seeing a lot of highlights from Sensui, Renegade, but I really want to commend Yue here and his positioning and timing with that gourd, making the most out of the Mystic Gush, the projectile as well, making sure he's getting those stunts in. Dude, Yue right now is just absolutely shining on this gourd, and we really thought that he'd struggle here. He'd have a lot of trouble, but he's timing everything and standing in the right spots, and Blacklist are covering for him so well.
And as we get a little bit further, I'm pretty sure the next item he'd go is probably the glowing wand. He's already got the Ice Queen, so next would typically be glowing. So as it gets further, that's where it starts to provide a little more damage, of course. He is a little more utility, trying to get those stuns off right now, but eventually it gets to a point where, he is pumping out, as I like to call it, the big dam.
One of the important things to notice right here is Beloyski and Luke are heavily focused on the Renegade. Almost every time they engage, they're trying to single out Renegade, trying to get rid of that Estes, and then hopefully the rest of the team collapses. So that's one of the reasons why Yue has been able to just kind of sit there. He's not getting targeted that much. So what do? Do they switch it up? Do they go for Luke and try to get through the Blessing of the Moon Goddess? They're kind of in a little bit of a conundrum here.
Yeah, it's not perfect standing for... Oh, wait, no, it is a perfect standing for Yue right now. Wow. So if this continues on, suddenly GEEK fam are just going to feel the problem of that gourd as we get a great look at our beautiful fans here in the South Memorial Coliseum. Sorry, I just needed to
Are they the ones that shout, Yue?
I think they are. Yue!
I don't know if she's here in attendance today, but I think it's become a thing.
It has been a thing.
There
we
got the call. Thank you once again. We're going to be jumping into the game. Lord going down the bottom side. It's Blacklist on the play here. Once again, Nile going to go ahead and stop it there in that bottom side. Trying to clear up as fast as they can. Once again, economy-wise, it's pretty even. But right now with Blacklist International able to make their moves around the map, they're going to get some space advantage to work from.
Now they're going to take the opposite lane, get as much as they can out of this push. One thing to note that, though, is Blacklist International still hasn't cracked into that mid lane at all. It is going to help GEEK Fam in some of these rotations. Look at Beloyski, too, just hanging out on the backside. He's waiting for a moment. He's waiting for the team to say, go.
Waiting for that 4-5-man final slash.
Yeah, a big one there. If UF falls down early, if that Gord falls down early in a team fight or a skirmish, it might actually be a big struggle for Blacklist International. They will have OHEB, but then that applies so much pressure onto Edward and Sensui to make the most out of their abilities, to create space, to buy time. So let's see if GEEK Fam can get the key target. Right now, it's Yue. Once Yue falls, it might be a little bit easier to actually take down the Bruno, to take down OHEB.
Yep, you can already see it too, as we were talking about. Yue on this Gord, he's getting the items he needs now to lead up into the damage meters. Already, I believe, completing that glowing one as he did, working on the next. So depending on how he decides to build those last two items, if it's the Holy Crystal, if it's Divine Glaive even to pump out a little more damage, to put the pressure on NetherRealm alone, will be troublesome for GEEK Fam. So they want to make a decisive action already early on, right? Lord, 30 seconds away or so here, so nothing too much happening. Beloyski, if he somehow, some way, gets a final slash, even if it's just Yue before the next Lord, that is a huge advantage for that Lord dance.
Comes Nile, looking for the engage here. They know Yue's over by the mid side. Could be a time to get some skills out. Lord's gonna be up in 15 seconds. Gold sitting at, I mean, an exact standstill. Never have these games been so close.
Yeah. It could be up to anyone. Goes down again, similar to what happened in game number 2. One big play, one big moment. As they now go for the Lord dance, we have to watch how the middle minion waves are managed. If anyone will decide to force out or push that topside minion wave, someone on the opposing team has to answer. Nile pushes forward, finds the information where OHEB is at. That's going to call for a quick little reset by Blacklist. Now that they actually have shown OHEB or have seen OHEB, Blacklist can clear up that lane because they're not like trying to hide or anything. So now they're just going to settle around the Lord again. Watch the minion wave management. That's the biggest story here, top side and middle.
This is one of the advantages as well, having a Gord. You can check the bushes with the projectiles, the injunctions, whichever way you want to have it. Concealed play going to come from GEEK Fam.
Royski making his way in, looking for the final slash. Nile on the backside, locking on OHEB. Maybe get out of Blessing of the Moon Goddess. There it is. Penalty zone. The heavy spin. Nile and Luke in a little bit of trouble here, but Sensui gonna kind of push them the wrong way. Beloyski looking for the re-engage. Gets a final slash to the backside. Marky with a blazing duet. Locking on to 4 members. Gonna get knocked up. Marky forced to back off. Beloy taking a stun. A shot. Bang! A ball to the face, and he's down. GEEK Fam still trying to come back up. Boy will be up in about 3 seconds. Death counter not too high. Lord still on the field. We're going back and forth.
Back and forth, but right now, Blacklist International in control of this Lord. They should be able to make quick work. Beloyski and Luke waiting patiently, though. Can they get it?
Yue! Taken out. OHEB finds Beloyski. Luke looking for something, but not today. You will not survive. OHEB finds a kill, and the Lord goes down. It's a 3-for-0 trade. Blacklist taking it all.
It feels like a recurring nightmare for Beloyski and Marky and the rest of GEEK Fam. Ube, an Estes, a mid lane they can't catch, a Filipino sniper with hella damage, and a Blacklist knocking at the door of their base, about to eliminate the miracle of Indonesia.
All right, the boy brings out the NetherRealm. They're just trying to buy time at this point, but Edward able to take him out. Blacklist decide not to go for it because Marky and Beloyski are back up.
They still have the Lord.
Don't want to end it just yet. Lord coming down the top side, but enough time is bought. GEEK Fam may live to see a few more waves.
GEEK Fam stays in it. They keep things under control. They have to get ready, though, for this defense.
It's not over yet. Quick item check. Dreadnought already built up by that Baksha, the damage, Holy Crystal for that Faramis. I'd like to see a Divine Glaive rushed already onto there. It's Bloodlust Axe, actually, Radiant Armor, Dom Eyes, and the Fury Hammer for that Lapu Lapu. 5,000, close enough for a turnaround. But again, can they get to Yue? They can't reach him right now, can GEEK Fam. And that Gord is the problem. Can they find the solution?
Ooh, Edward uses a penalty zone, does not connect onto anybody there. He does have time to try to get another one on Marky. Will be able to melt down this Lord, and Blacklist walk away.
They're happy with the 2 turrets in the base. They still hold on to that one in the bottom side for GEEK Fam, but Blacklist getting in position, making their way with the next waves that will be pushing in. We could possibly see another force and interaction from Blacklist. GEEK Fam, once again, everything available. They have to be ready. Immortality's also going to be online here.
Yep. They're making their way downtown, walking fast as Blacklist.
Boy does take a stun. Niall trying to make his way on the
Boy,
mountain. Looking for something. For the blessing of the moon goddess, and Luke finds a stun. Edward trying to respond, but the magic does come from Yue. Sensui able to get the pin on him. The immortality pops, but the boy keeps going. Niall there as well. The boy able to find Oheb. GEEK Fam coming out for the defense. But wait, Beloyski in trouble, gets another final slash. Can he dash away? He's buying time for his team though. Blacklist are hungry. 3 down, 1 down as well for Blacklist. A boy and Niall all alone against 4. Blacklist International know what's on the line here. GEEK Fam as well. A few cannon minions, another wave, but it's 20 seconds until the rest of the team is there. Blacklist International trying to get the finish. Edward able to make the pin onto a boy. Niall against 4, but another wave of minions is coming down the backside. GEEK Fam does have the defense. Blacklist trying to close it out. A dynasty may continue today. Blacklist International make it forward.
The stadium erupts as Blacklist International continues on for the M5, taking out GEEK Fam.
The clock strikes midnight on the Cinderella story of GEEK Fam. A tale as old as time. Another code broken. Blacklist remains standing.
Give it up. Blacklist International showing why they are who they are. A young roster, new faces, but it doesn't change that the org is one of the strongest in the world.
And of course, it's important there, the sportsmanship between the 2 teams, well fought from GEEK Fam. An amazing performance nonetheless, but at this point, someone has to go home. Let's go ahead, throw it over to our hosts on stage with our teams.
Wow! Blacklist International is now sharing a few words with GEEK Fam. GEEK Fam?
What a comeback para sa ating Blacklist International. But right now we have our GEEK Fam from Indonesia. Palakpakan naman natin ang GEEK Fam.
Everybody give him a big round of applause. GEEK Fam, ikaw na lang Beloyski. What would you like to say to all your supporters and everybody watching from Indonesia? What else can we expect from you next year?
Buat GEEK community, terima kasih yang udah dukung kita. And to all the fans here supporting us, the Blacklist fans, thank you guys. And to my family, sorry I didn't give the win, but I love you guys. Sorry, we will try harder next time.
Maraming salamat po sa nanood sa amin, sa pamilya ko, tsaka sa girlfriend ko. Salamat po, pasensya na, babawi kami next season, mas gagalingan namin.
Sorry for GEEK community and thank you. Thank you for the support and sorry for everything.
Thank you for the support. We will come back to Stronger.
And I just want to say for the Geek fans out there, there are no losses, only lessons. Congratulations to Geek Fam for making it all the way to this point. Palakpakan natin ang Geek Fam.
We hope to see you stronger next year. Geek Fam, you may now take your final bow. Your journey ends here.
Congratulations.
And now, let's welcome on stage the winner of this match, Blacklist International.
What a comeback! Wow! Down 0-1. 3 straight para sa Blacklist International. Huwag kayong mahiya, huwag kayong mahiya. Nanalo kayo, nanalo kayo. Yui, unahin na kita. Yui, unahin na kita. Yui, come on. Yui, what can you say about those 3 straight wins? What were the adjustments made starting game 2 at tumuloy-tuloy kayo?
Siguro yung paglalaro namin sa early to late game. Kung paano namin laruin yung laro namin.
Kita mo naman yung adjustment. How about anyone else? Sige, ano tayo? Anyone else? Can you talk about the adjustments that were made after the first match, which really shifted the momentum towards you guys? Yung anong adjustments na ginawa ninyo after game 1 or match number 1, kaya nag-shift yung momentum papunta sa inyo?
Siguro po nung di namin po sinabayan yung aggressiveness po nila inanap lang po inantay lang po namin yung mga namin power spike na mga hero namin.
They didn't go up against the aggression of their opponent. Instead, they're waiting for the right moment for the power spikes. And that's what Blacklist International do. Now, Rana J, your family is here, your parents are here, Doggy and H2 are here. You can see him waving at you. He actually elbowed H2 right there. You saw Doggy earlier, he got really emotional. In fact, your journey throughout MLBB is such an emotional experience. Now, you get to move on the next round. What can you say, Rana J?
Boss D, next time wag kang iiyak. Naiiyak din ako, mawawala ako sa laro niyan.
He's saying, Doggy, next time don't cry because he's gonna cry and he's gonna lose his mind in the game.
Sobrang thankful po kami lahat ngayon kasi simula nung pinaghirapan namin since MPL, lahat po worth it siya kasi unti-unti namin nakukuha yung namin, pangarap namin, malapit na kami and konti na lang. Yan.
All their sacrifices that they've made in MPL, it's all worth it. And their dream is getting closer and closer. Malapit na!
Oheb, ikaw naman, pwede nating tanungin. How do you stay composed? How do you stay composed after ng matches? You had to win that second match na importante para makuha niya yung momentum. How do you stay composed? And ano yung pinagsamahan niya? What does it mean to all of you na you go together and then lalaban kayo hanggang dulo?
Mindset lang namin every game, parang every game kasi mindset namin game 1 lahat ng games. Reset lang. Parang game 1 lang ulit kahit matalo, manalo. Game 1 lang ulit next game. Reset kada game, mangyari. Manalo, matalo, reset lang talaga. Dun siguro kami nakakabawi.
So they treat every game, they don't look at the scoreboard, they treat every game the same way. They start it the same way. And obviously, what a win.
Ito naman, your brother Edward, hiding at the back.
Nakatago.
Edward!
Nakatago si Edward.
Edward! You have a lot of supporters here. Let's invite them to support you for your next match. And what do you want to say to everybody?
Ayun. Maraming salamat sa pumunta kayan. Guys, bukas ulit. Note care. Tsaka shoutout nga pala sa tropa ko. Nasaan yung mga tropa ko dyan?
Galing kasi ng Bataan eh.
You have a lot of friends.
Ayun! Shoutout sa inyo.
He's saying this is all for his friends over there, thanking everybody who's supporting them, and come watch them again next time. All right, everybody, one more time, give it up for Blacklist International. You may now take your bow and take your walk of victory. We're gonna break that down for you, so we're gonna throw it over to our casters. Casters, pasok.
An emotional series. Congratulations to Blacks International. Their journey continues. As for Geek Fam, GG well played. We look forward to seeing you bounce back stronger than ever.
It's so amazing that Blacklist International were able to adapt and then completely take over the series. Game number 1, that dominant victory. Usually after a game like that, teams tend to take the slow route, right? Maybe they'll get better in game number 2 and then game number 3, then we'll see this level. But no, it clicked after game number 1, instantly to game number 2. Despite a few mistakes that they were able, Geek Fam were able to capitalize against Blacklist International, especially that 7-minute lane swap. It didn't really matter. Blacklist team fighting prowess shined through.
We will see more of that in detail later on through the highlights. Something to note that was actually made real via that interview was the fact that Blacks International adjustment after game 1 was something that rang true and was made more efficient and effective because of the fact that they looked at each game as another game 1. It's just one game after another, and all the learnings from the previous one just made all the more sense. With that said, let's give out our MVP. The nod goes to none other than Blacklist's very own Renegade, the Hitman, of course. A marquee performance coming in, repping the Blacks International hero. Their skin from M3 is the Estes. He showed us one from the groups. Now, what do you like better, this performance or the last?
This one for sure, because this was truly the Hitman's Estes, right? When we look at the Estes, especially for Blacklist International, we remember the Queen. But he truly has made this pick his own as well. That flicker, that risky gameplay on the Estes, utilizing the Blessing of the Moon Goddess all the way to the end. It is as Hitman as it gets, Leo, and we're definitely going to see it all played in again for this highlight.
Yep, something to note, if you're loving the play style, the flicker, here's that that moment, that failed lane swap, as we would like to say. I like the Quantum Charge. I like how it keeps him on his toes, and it allows him to actually reposition, get the heals to where Blacklist needs it.
And you can definitely see it from time to time again. That flicker really paid dividends towards Blacklist International. Renegade doesn't need the Purify. The Purify needs him. He's the man who's always positioning on point. And it's exactly as you mentioned it in game number 3, I believe, Leo. He's got the mind of a hitman on a healer.
That's right. He's able to protect where it's needed, and he can sniff out these flanks. There was a moment here, if I'm not mistaken, around the
Baloyski's flank later.
16-minute mark. Yes, no. Baloyski was setting it up way before. This is the payoff finally, but even with that, because of Renegade's positioning, because of how Renegade is able to keep everyone topped up, Baloyski's hero play was made null. Baloyski's hero play, as amazing as it was, Blacklist was able to clap back and overload the base. Finish at under 18 minutes. Something to note, Renegade decided to go flicker. It was scary, to be honest, because I'm thinking, Geek Fam super aggressive. No Purify, but he made it work because of, again, the mind of a hitman.
And even to add more onto the mind of a hitman, he was the guy who actually assassinated Marky in towards that end, right? With the passive hit, Leo, he was able to find that final kill onto Marky, and that literally just was the nail in the coffin for Geek Fam. They were not able to defend from that. And now we're going to take a look at the emblems here. Anything that piques your interest, Leo?
Something that I'm looking at is, dare I say, he might be the star player for any Lapu-Lapu in M5, Luke. This is the emblem set. Again, the penetration, the spell vamp. He's been doing this all series long, and it's given Oheb and Yue a tough time. But the fact that Renegade is there makes it all the more worth it. Yue was another key player for Blacklist, and as soon as they found him, it all crumbled, except for when Sensui was able to help them disengage.
And this is where I have to give props again to the Hitman himself to go for agility and the Wilderness Blessing here on top of the QC. It gives him so much more maneuverability, and this is where we really get to understand why the Wilderness Blessing is so important to Blacklist International, a team who runs on neutral objective team fights, not on neutral objective control, which differs from the old Blacklist, right? Usually, you expect them to go for turtles, take the snowball route. This Blacklist can come back with one big team fight, and it's all facilitated through the maneuverability. They're able to force decisive initiations, but also fall back when it matters most.
And that's done through not winning these objectives, because again, if you'll notice, the first 9 minutes, it was all GEEK fam. They were sitting at 4-0 with a solid gold lead, but this Blacklist, again, from Game 2 onwards till they finished in Game 4, they were looking at the economy. They were masters of economy. Not only are they able to force out longer games against GEEK fam, who, if GEEK fam had their way, they would be done in 10 minutes. Blacklist International are able to hold it down, pace themselves, and then build up to these items. These items that you put on OHEB, that you put on Yue, are key to stopping this super aggressive lineup.
And there was a moment as well where Sensui just used a heavy spin to stop Marky from getting to the Prio members, and that is literally what Leo was just saying, right? The fact that Blacklist International here, they lost in the early game in all 3 of the games that they actually won in the sweep, technically. It didn't really matter because they were able to always come back from it in these team fights. The ADP in combination with their phenomenal team fighting skills gave them the best route possible to beat a team like GEEK fam.
Yep, looking at our carry here, of course, a boy. If you're looking at a lineup that's always going Ube as early as possible, you can expect those Burst Bursters to deal damage. And then from there, you have the rich guy on OHEB. As soon as Blacklist International took control, they're able to just keep putting farm on this Bruno, and the rest is history, man. Look at this. Teamfight participation, because of that patch that recently counted heals as KP, Renegade was there all the way.
139,000 total healing coming in from Renegade. This goes to show you that not only is it a big number, obviously, but he was free in almost every single one of these team fights. That's why he's able to dish out so much healing for the rest of the team to sustain back up for the team to look for that win. It was super risky that they went for a Gord and a Bruno. Didn't matter though, as long as you have someone in the back constantly babysitting you and giving you the right amount of sustain, a risky comp turns to a very safe comp.
Yep, it's a glass cannon comp, because look, there's only an asterisk amount of peel. Check it out, Edward is your only real frontliner given the BOS, the body of Smith. But that aside, everyone else is a softie. So with that, you have your glass cannons in the Gord and the Bruno. You wrap it in a nice bubble wrap that is the Estes. So that's what made this lineup work.
I think you just nailed it there. The bubble wrap, everything. It was just perfect for the side of Blacklist International for this draft especially. We were thinking about the final pick being maybe, oh, the Diggy could work here, but we completely forgot the signature Blacklist pick. That Estes turned out to be the best pick they could look for in that moment, not only for the game, but for the fans as well.
Yep, and not to mention one more bit about GEEK fam's lineup. They stayed true to their identity. It's a dive-on-dive, front-to-front. And you saw that it worked in the early game, but as soon as Blacklist got a stronghold, a grip onto the situation, there was nowhere to go, even if Baloyski was able to find that flank multiple times.
The off angles, the off tempo, countered by what stayed true, the pillar for Blacklist International. There was a lot of chaos, but in the end, order was found by Blacklist, and that's what literally happened in the game. And I feel like, again, that's what makes Blacklist really, really scary. The fact that they can lose out in these early game skirmishes, give out neutral objectives, and even sometimes make very big mistakes in the laning phase. If they can all count on that team fighting, and if it gets them wins, then it's a W.
You can change the names, you can change the positions, you can change the metagame, but the Ube stands strong. Whoever Blacklist International faces in their journey throughout the lower bracket has to watch this series very closely. And who that is will be decided in the next match. I can't wait. Another elimination. Mirko, it's bittersweet, but I'm expecting that one to go all the way.
There's Volt and see you soon. There's no other way for it to go than all the way, Leo. Let's be honest here. We want to see